let's talk about what are some value plays. We've got high expenses, bank owned, end of the loan term, bad management, repairs. Now, this is the thing about repairs. A lot of people will look for a property that needs to be rehabbed. That does not equal a great deal. Just because you're going to rehab it does not equal a great deal. So when I look for a property and it's got a lot of repairs, if it's a note too, if it's got a lot of deferred maintenance and a lot of repairs, it needs rehab, it's very underoccupied, I stay away from it. I make a great property by fixing the financial problems of that property, not by fixing that property. And you could do well, but it's a lot riskier. High vacancy, I stay away from high vacancy properties. I want high occupancy. Again, a lot of bank-owned properties will have fine occupancy, 75%, 85%, 95%. And again, I always stay in that upper amount, and I recommend that you do too, because it was one of my biggest things. I don't even know why I put down markets there. Low rents. I'm going to talk about that for a second. Burnt out landlord. FSBO, that's for sale by owner. One of the best, one of my first deals was a for sale by owner, and he had no clue what the value of that property was. One of the things that he said to me, and he was a very smart man, he just had lost sort of the touch of valuation of his properties. And he said to me, I have never used a broker. I never will use a broker. Have no need for the broker. Well, if he had used a broker, he would have charged me another $1.5 million for this property. He just did not know the value of the property, and the broker would have set him straight. So I was really glad he never used a broker. So for sale by owners can be, awesome still. All right, so let's talk about raising the rents, and let's see how magical this can actually be. All right, so because now we're talking about, REOs. You own the property. You are adding value to the property. You're not expecting the forced depreciation of the property. So raise the rents. And how do we do that? One of the best things to start raising rents to, if you're going to do some fix-ups to the property, I recommend the exteriors so that you can, you don't want a dilapidated property, So, you never want to be a slumlord. You want to be a great landlord. So I find properties that are in pretty good shape, but what I'm going to do is upgrade the exterior, because that's going to change the viewpoint of the property and allow you to raise rents. So this is one of the things that I do. We actually take, we have a property board, and it shows exactly when everyone is moving out. So we can see, when their leases are up. So if we've got a 1 month with a lot of people or 2 months with a lot of people, we start to even those out all the way across the board. And then we go and because remember we talked about tenant turnover. It's like one of the most costly things you could possibly have. So what we'll do is we'll visit the tenants who are moving in the next 30 to 60 days, and we'll bribe them. Get them to stay by some sort of fix, something that makes the property better. Ceiling fan. I'll offer to wash their carpets if they sign up a new lease. New appliance, because anything that costs me about $300 to $400, because a turn is going to cost me, could run me a couple thousand. Not to mention that now I got to fill it. Not to mention that, so if it's a good tenant, I want to keep them in there. So let me show you how this works, which is a wonderful thing. This is a 160-unit building. You raise the rents $50. Now, the market rent of that building, what's that? The market rent of that building is, say, even $75 more. So I go and I raise it $50. Per door. 50 times 160 is an additional $8,000 a month. 8,000 times 12 months is $96,000 in a year. And that's pure profit. That is not something that, from the, it's pure profit because you've already paid your expenses. So now we use our times 10. We've just increased the value of that property $960,000 without having anything to do with what happens in that marketplace. Huge. Huge. It's awesome. I mean, that's this is a property that we have. Raised the rents $35. $35 times 152 is an additional $5,320. $5,320 times 12 to annualize it is $63,000, and that increases the value by $630,000. How many of you could, that's like a stroke of a pen. That's how you make money in real estate. That's how you make money in commercial real estate. That's how you make money in commercial REOs. That's how you make money. Now, notes are a little different, but that's a great entryway into either getting REOs or keeping them as REOs. But awesome. So here's some extra numbers to live by. We talked about this. I look for a cash-on-cash return of it, and this is for REO properties, not as much notes right now. I look for a cash-on-cash return as 14 plus. I actually look for 16. The cap rate at 9 at least, usually 10. Now, what if you're in a market where the cap rate is 6%? Or even 4% or 5%. Plus, yeah, you plus to it. But I don't even do that. If it doesn't cash flow. See, this is the problem. Now, this is something you can do, though. If you guys live in Southern California and you're buying notes and you're buying REOs, or you want to buy in your backyard, you can definitely get those deals and wholesale them. Because there's a lot of people who would be interested in buying those wholesale. A lot of people feel that Southern California market is going to appreciate. I'm actually one of them. I do too, because I think there's a bunch of crazy people out there who are willing to buy things that do not cash flow. I am not one of them. The biggest tenant in the whole wide world to you, the most important thing, star it, square it, everything, is you need to buy based on cash flow, period. You have to. We wouldn't be in the problem we were in if we didn't. Yeah, amen. That's right. That's right. But but if you are dead set and buying in your backyard because you are in Southern California, you could get these deals under contract and wholesale them because there are people who will buy that way. I don't want you to buy them because I don't want you to buy anything that doesn't cash flow. Period. If it cash flows, you always have the opportunity to step away and make it work, All right. Another one, always buy on today's numbers. Verify the seller's numbers with your own underwriting guidelines. And when you are buying commercial, it is buyer beware. Do your due diligence. It's always buyer beware. When you're buying these notes, it's buyer beware. When you're buying residential, it's buyer beware.